Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios, family owned and operated with the largest selection of natural diamond jewelry, the only diamond and jewelry partner of the mighty Florida Gators. We'll have JC here momentarily. We'll have Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Gators report today, meaning they've been off for a couple of days. They'll come back, I don't know if they move to dorms. I don't know what they do nowadays on training camp. Some teams go to dorms, make it rough. Some teams don't. Not a whole lot going on. Let's go straight to the Titan and More hotline, courtesy of Comfort 10. We're joined by Johnny C.
Oh man, how was
Johnny C? First of all,
yeah.
I totally forgot because last week when we did our Peachland Dental golf picks, I was on the road. I was watching the golf yesterday, and I was like, I don't remember who I picked. I don't remember who JC picked because I was on the road. But I thought you picked Kurt Kitayama.
Yeah, he was my fourth pick. I had Homa, Thigala, Finau, Kitayama, Thorpe, Jornson. You had Gotterup, McNeely, Clark, Pendrith, and Bhatia. And Bhatia, really, he was there at the end.
He blew it.
But he shot 73 yesterday and just really came apart. Yay.
Congratulations to JC.
Yeah, I got a winner.
You know who his college golf coach was, don't you?
No, who?
J.C. Deacon.
Yes, I do know that because you have mentioned that because he has won before on tour. But his ranking was up there around 100, and he was getting close to basically trying to save his job. And they're running out of tournaments for this season. And now he's got 2 years job security and all the invites to the majors, including the Masters next year, I think. So, TPC and everything else, Hawaii. So it's just a life changer for guys that are trying to keep their job on tour. And it's tough to do, but you win something like the Greensboro or the 3M Open like yesterday, and you have job security for 2 years minimum on tour.
I was thinking of this because when I was playing with my golf guys, and I was thinking I want to propose this question to you, JC. If you could have one golf swing, one professional player's golf swing, who would you want? I mean, it could be current, could be past, whatever. Who would you want? I would look at JC and be like, damn, he looks like player X.
Well, I always liked in the past, so I'll give you one from the past and one from today. But Johnny Miller had a great golf swing in the past, and I always thought he was kind of a cool player. And he and Tom Watson. But currently, it's really hard. They're so mechanical today, and they're so polished, and they're so perfect. Everything is perfect. I like Jake Knapp's swing. I was watching that yesterday. My God. I mean, the way he hits an iron, it's just flawless.
Well, his drive. Okay, Jake Knapp, to me, has the best golf swing I've ever seen.
Okay, there you go.
It's effortlerless. And
it's effortless.
As far or farther than anybody on tour. I've never seen anything like it.
Effortless. He hit I don't know what iron it was yesterday, carrying water. Well, he was short on his first shot, so he kind of muscled up on the second one. Only made bogey on 18, which kept him inside the top 5. God, that was very nervous up and down for him out of that rough. But, man, the swing is just flawless. And I'll tell you, these guys these days, man, are so good. Mm-hmm. A guy out of nowhere, Chris Gotterup, shows up in Scotland, and now he's a household name on tour. Wyndham Clark has recovered his game somewhere and found it now. Former U.S. Open winner. And then you got guys like this Kurt Kitayama. God bless me. I had his brother on the bag yesterday. They were walking together. Maybe his brother's interviewing for a job now. So maybe Kurt will keep him on the bag. So I thought it was good. I mean, the tournament was what it was. You had expected what we saw yesterday. I expected what we saw yesterday. So sometimes it's just throw darts at a board and see who comes out. But he almost missed. I mean, I don't think he played well on Friday. So
Kurt Kitayama made the cut by one shot.
Yeah, so he almost missed the cut, and here he is now, your 3M champion.
He set some record with like 19 birdies.
Yeah, he could have shot 59 very easily on Saturday. So God bless him. Good for him. He's the winner. And we have 1 week closer to August and the things we like.
So moving on from golf, real quick, Shooter McGavin on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says his is Freddie Couples. I love Freddie's swing, but Jake Knapp has overtaken Freddie's swing with effortless and power.
Yeah.
And I would say if I could take, I think Jake Knapp's is his swing is phenomenal. But I love Adam Scott. I think Adam Scott is the most technically sound golf swing there is out there. All right, enough of that.
Well, I spent a lot of this weekend while you were golfing with your buddies reading Athlon Sports.
Well, what can you tell us that you learned, JC?
Well, what I learned is
real quick. Speaking of that, Georgia Bulldog, was that a Georgia Bulldog on the cover?
That's Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out. I had to go to an event Saturday at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
Well, right there is our guy.
Yeah. We'll talk about him with Edgar later. I had to go to an event that Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, is retiring after this football season.
Oh, man.
It will be his 50th year. So he's having like a tour of the main SEC schools, and he's going to write a little book about it. So I was fortunate to be able to speak for a few minutes there at the event, and there's a picture up there now. Me, Doring, and Werfel were there along with Coach and some of the older media boys like Robbie Andrew, Pat Dooley, Gene Fournette, those type of guys. But I just wanted to say here on the show, congratulations, Tony Barnhart. I said in my little speech, JC, I said, you're probably the best that's ever done it. I told him he's the best media boy that's ever covered the Southeastern Conference in college football. And I said, as much as you love your Georgia Bulldogs, you were never biased. And we beat the hell out of them every year. And everybody in this room beat the hell out of y'all. So
that is all true, all based on fact. But if you cover it for 50 years, you go back to the 70s, early 70s. And when you think about it, it's quite a lifetime. And it's just
his voice is just it makes you think college football.
Yeah, it does. Southeastern, no question about it. Southeastern Conference. He could have also passed for somebody in the old Big Eight, if you want to go that route. But conferences are dramatically different. I looked at all these conferences in this magazine and how the SEC was 16 teams, the Big Ten with 18 teams, and how they're trying to basically just talk football in these magazines. We're not getting into the other things off the field that have shaped and foreign policy these days in the game. And, that's what I was looking for. I just want to read names. I want to see who's here, who's there. And, in Auburn, I didn't know this, but I should have known this. DJ Durkin is still the defensive guy. And he was the defensive guy, and now he's still the defensive
And they're very good. They've been very good on defense.
And so you have him. At Alabama, you have Ryan Grubb, who was the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator, who was going to be the OC at Alabama last year. Now he's back. And I read about, look at Florida. Here they are, predicted order of finish from Athlon at 5. With that schedule, you've got Texas, Georgia, LSU, and Alabama in the top 4, with Florida at 5 ahead of everyone else. And that includes Texas A&M. It includes Mississippi. It includes Oklahoma and South Carolina, Tennessee. So I think, as we have said on this show going forward from the last few weeks, the expectation level has to be higher now, and it is. There's reasons for that, and hopefully these guys will stay healthy. To me, that's the big key. I think staying healthy for anybody is a key, but for Florida, in this case, they need these kids to be out there on the field and quite often. So, you've got Jake Slaughter, who is the center, who's predicted his all SEC first team, according to these guys. That's the only Florida player I saw on offense, and there were no defensive players for Florida predicted on the first team defense, nor on the first team special teams. But these are just predictions, and these are just writers saying who they think is good and who they think should be honored that way. But, man, when you look at the schedule, QB, August 30th, which is just about a month away, Texas, Ohio State, LSU and Clemson, Alabama, Florida State. That right there tells me that we're getting to games that people are really excited to watch, and the TV networks are finally figuring it out.
Yeah, got a lot of Texas stuff to get to here real quick. A lot of people on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law, want me to ask Edgar about DJ and his boot. I will ask him. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Who heard about that? How did they find out about that?
It's all over the internet and stuff now.
Oh. The
Yeah.
internet travels fast. I wonder who leaked that.
Well, here's what people don't understand is the beat writers have inside scoop.
Uh-huh.
There are people in there that they talk. Uh, so reports are that DJ's in a walking boot, whether it's an ankle, hamstring, or not a hamstring, or a calf or something.
Yeah.
But we'll get some more information from Edgar. Um, Regardless, it ain't good news, right?
I don't want my guy walking around in a damn boot.
Right. Um, Real quick, Ryan says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, if you were a current OC in college, what team would your offense resemble? It would be a combination of the Texas Longhorns and the Louisville Cardinals.
Yeah, you
Those are as close to as what Coach Spurrier ran and what I believe in.
Yeah, you follow coaches and you watch coaches that you like.
Yeah.
That would be Jeff Brom and Steve Sarkisian on your end.
Yeah. Yeah. Braun 71 says, QB, what were the changes or difference you noticed with the fun and gun offense in Washington as compared to when you ran it in Gainesville? It was the same exact offense. We just had to I used to beg for different protection schemes, which we got to eventually, but it was the same offense.
You always took snap behind center, though. You never played in the.
Well, I got in the shotgun in college. I mean, in the pros.
In the pros, you did, yes, but not in college. Yeah.
Brian on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel, says, JC, what are the betting odds right now for the Heisman? I'm feeling good about Lagway. He is a dark horse, in my opinion.
Well, just know this: those odds get more advantageous for the better when news like a boot comes out, because you're not the only one who's heard it, obviously, and so are opposing defensive coordinators and opposing beat writers and so on and so forth. Those odds will improve for you as a bettor when news comes out like that. But
yeah, so right here,
nobody's played it down yet. So
speaking of the news, Kay Brown on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, please ask Edgar what he knows about Lagway. Zach Goodall from 24/7 Sports reported last night that DJ is in a walking boot due to a lower leg injury. It is either a calf injury or an ankle injury.
Yeah, I mean, lower leg. Tell me how that can happen when nobody's even practicing.
I don't know. Like I told you, I think DJ. Well, not just DJ. I think any quarterback that is big. I think the guys nowadays want to get too big. I don't know how many times I've talked about it on this show, JC.
Too big.
I think DJ needs to get down to like 230, 225 or 230.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
No, I don't disagree with that. I don't need Jamarcus Russell running around out there.
No.
I just don't need that.
Electronics World integration and design specialist for smart home automation, entertainment, affordable local installation services support. Check them out, electronicsworld.net.
Tony's funny.
Here we go. This is a text on the Titan MR text line. I'm a college guy, not an NFL guy. Many of my friends are excited about the Jaguars. How do you and JC feel about them?
Well, they got to be better this year and they stay healthy. But I think they've added some components to the offense. Travis Hunter is going to play more offense than defense. I'm almost certain of that. And I think, with he and Brian Robinson on the other end, Brian Thomas, that they'll have something for Trevor to throw at. Hopefully they'll be able to run the ball a little bit, but I think they're going to be better than they were last year. Of course, it couldn't get much worse, but I still think Houston wins that division. I'm a Jags season ticket holder. I did that because I want preference in 2028 when the stadium is built. But I do believe that, the schedule is very easy, relatively speaking, to some of these other teams, and certainly it should be because they were one of the worst teams in the league last year. Then I look at teams like Cleveland, who were also one of the worst teams in the league last year, and their schedule is brutal. Now, a lot of it has to do with the division they play in, and so that certainly doesn't work well for them. But in Jacksonville's case, the AFC South is not considered a hotbed division. Actually, neither is the NFC South, when you've got two teams that could possibly not even win 6 games in that division. So I think for Jacksonville, it will be better than last year, and hopefully, these guys Travis Hunter will have a good year and not be a flop. I don't think he will be. He's too talented.
On the Titan MR text line, Josh from Mama, he says, gentlemen, did y'all watch Happy Gilmore? I have not seen it.
We're not big movie guys. We like to watch live stuff.
This is Alberto in Miami Lakes on the Titan MR text line. QB, what do you think contributes to bad team culture, and why was Dan Mullen's culture so bad? Well, that's a great question.
I don't know that
I
answer
think
to
I think a
that.
lot of times bad culture,
I don't know the answer to that.
it comes from discipline, team discipline, rules and regulations, so to speak, and certain people getting away with doing things they shouldn't be doing and not being punished. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, it does make sense because people have eyes and ears, and they see if somebody gets preferential treatment, they want the same thing and it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah,
UNLV though had a great year in the Mountain West, and UNLV still has a lot of players coming back, and I don't see how he doesn't do well on this with the record this year at Vegas. They've got a lot of really strong players. That conference is wide open for them. So remember, the winner of the Mountain West Conference, if that conference is rated higher as the winner than the other group of 5 conferences, goes to the college football playoff. That was Boise State last year. It could have easily been Vegas, and it was close to being Vegas. So I think Dan's in a good position. I think they're actually genuinely excited about football out there, college football in Las Vegas, as much as they can be in a place like that.
yeah. Here's a text from Larry on the Titan our text line.
I'll root for him.
Larry says, I would like your guys' comments on the lady with her comments that she was glad that Hulk Hogan died and she is part of the Alachua County School Board. I've vaguely heard about it. JC, are you aware about this?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. Yes, I am.
What did she actually say?
Her name is Sarah Rockwell, who's on the Alachua County School Board, who basically cheered that Hulk Hogan was dead by saying one less MAGA. I thought MAGA was a phrase and not a noun.
Well, regardless of your political beliefs, to root for somebody to die.
One less MAGA in the world. And then, of course, we get the, obligatory apologies and all this. But remember, this is a person shaping policy for your children in Alachua County. Just thought you'd want to know. That's how she feels about half the country.
Yeah, I might have to look into that. That's ridiculous.
Well,
it doesn't matter about politics. You don't come out publicly and say anything like that.
Should that person keep her job?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, back to sports. Although that does have something to do with sports because it's part of high school.
Her name is Sarah Rockwell, by the way. Sarah Rockwell. That's her name.
Yeah, here's another text on the Titan More text line. I want to know about our thoughts on Happy Gilmore. Have not seen it. I don't even know if I saw the first one, quite honestly.
Is he the guy with the hockey stick and the broom?
Yeah, it's Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah. So
a lot of former and current golfers.
I did see a scene. I saw a scene in that movie where he got into a fight with the Price is Right guy, Bob Barker.
Well, that would have been an old one. That would have been the first.
Oh, that's the old one?
Well, Bob Barker.
I don't even know that. So they have more than one? They have more than one Happy Gilmores?
That's the one that just came out. They just redid it with a lot of current golfers in it, I guess. We're behind the times, JC.
Very, very much so.
All right, this day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union, where proud member Steve Spurrier bank.
Right.
I should have told Tony Barnhart that during my speech.
Did you ask
Tony? Do you know where Coach Spurrier banks?
Did you ask Bubba where he banks the other day?
I didn't. I should have asked
Bubba. Oh
man. Bubba needs to go take a withdrawal at the Campus USA Credit Union. Or Pops. He probably knows how to sign his dad's name. I wonder if they have the same type of signature.
No, you're espousing.
I'm gonna ask Bubba if he and his dad's signatures are the same, because I mean they're Steve Spurrier and Steve Spurrier Jr.
There you go.
2015, Pedro Martinez, number 45, is retired by the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, great pitcher, Hall of Famer. Vegas, by the way, is predicted second in Mountain West.
Behind Boise?
Right behind Boise, right in front of San Jose.
Well, the Vegas, I don't know if he was the head coach or the
Barry Odom.
Odom. Where did Barry Odom go?
Barry Odom's at Purdue.
Oh, that's right. So their offensive coordinator is now that head coach at Sacramento State.
Yeah,
that they're putting all that money into. Okay.
Yeah, but Barry Odom's going to try to
Barry Odom. I forgot
Barry Odom is quite a good find for Purdue. I think that is exactly the kind of coach they need to resuscitate that program. They're predicted last in the Big 18. So yeah.
Tony says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, the movie Happy Gilmore 2. It was fine. Enough nostalgia and references from the first one combined with updated cameos from the new one. Much like Coming to America 2. Good enough for for straight to streaming and worth a watch. Yeah, I think it's not in the movie theaters. It's like on Netflix or what have you. So
Yeah, movie reviews here on PodUp with Shane on.
I mean,
want me to talk about Mission Impossible? I saw that the other night.
You said it was great.
I loved it. I did. It was long, but it got me in the theater first time in 10 years. So
I don't know if I've been in a movie theater in
well, QB, you'd like it.
15 years.
They have chairs that recline.
No, I take that back. I take that back.
Premier first class on Delta.
The last movie I've seen in a movie theater was with my kids, and I don't know why we went because they lived all over the country, even back when it was when the Elvis movie. Well, Luke was probably in high school. I don't remember, but Elvis is the last movie I saw. I think that's what it was called. It was good.
Great, that's fantastic.
Yes.
I saw an Auburn Tiger fan in the swimming pool at the condo over the weekend. And by the way, big shout out to Greg and Trace Colson from Valdosta, Georgia. Greg is a big fan. I think he's got family that's played for the Florida Gators. Colson is the name. And his son Trace. And I think their mom, Cheryl, was it? And they were at the condo, and I just heard my initials screamed out. So they watch. So thank you for watching, guys, and be safe. Enjoy the beach. It's hotter than living hell over there, and all the grass is dying. But Valdosta, Georgia, that's now QB. I told them that you love high school athletics, and you love
South
high school football in Georgia, and that Lowndes County is at the top of your list for one of the best in America in terms of college football.
Well, I call
high school
County,
football
Thomas County, and Cook County. I'm big fans of them as well, Jason.
Yes, so I just threw out Lowndes because they're from Valdosta, which is quite a nice little town in southeastern Georgia. And thank you guys for saying hello yesterday at the beach condo. But I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Well, I just know that the Auburn guy. So the Auburn guy in the pool. I said, Auburn dude, who you got playing quarterback this year? And then we talked about that.
Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, that's right. And we talked about that. And then I said, is Hugh on the hot seat? And he said, nah, it's warm. I said, that's typical, right? He goes, well, if we don't win, we've had two losing seasons in a row. And then I said, who do you play in your first game? And he just drew a blank. He drew a blank. I said, now, come on, dude. You don't know who you're playing in your first game? He finally came out and said, the Baylor Bears. Mm-hmm. Who, by the way, are predicted in the top echelon of the Big 12 conference, which, by the way, is going to be chaos. The Big 12, with all these teams, are so evenly matched. The top 10 teams in the Big 10, or Big 12 rather, I think have a chance to actually win the conference. That's how closely tied that conference is. And Texas Tech spending upwards of $10 million with their Matador Club collective. Arizona State with Sam Levitt coming back and that coach they have who's very good, I think. Baylor with all their returning athletes. My God, you think of the Olympic team and the speed of the Baylor Bears. BYU with their quarterback and their good defense. That's a great conference. I think we can look forward to watching is the Big 12.
QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief, no surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. We got JC on the Titan tomorrow hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We'll have Edgar Thompson. Second portion of today's.
So here's I'm going to predict. Okay, I'm going to pretend to be Edgar. You be you, and you ask me right now about DJ Lagway. Here's the answer. You ready? Go ahead.
Hey Edgar.
Yeah. Hi Shane.
What do you know about DJ Lagway in a boot?
Gosh, it's hot in here, Shane. I got to get my air conditioner working. Well, it's a precautionary measure. There's been some word that his calf, or maybe it's his Achilles. It's somewhere in that vicinity, but they're just doing it as a precaution. It's nothing I would be seriously overly concerned about, but I guess you never really want to hear about your prize quarterback in a boot. There's the answer. Now let's see how he actually answers it. Hopefully he didn't see me just say that, but there's your answer.
Well, if he doesn't have any information, that's probably what he's not going to know.
That's
he's
what he's
going to say. Reports are he's in a boot.
But he's not going to give you any information like, oh, my God, he had his Achilles scanned and they're worried about a tear. He's not going to say that. Oh, my God, he pulled his calf muscle. We don't know if he can walk in 2 weeks. He's not going to say that. So I just gave you the answer, folks.
DJ should have been on the golf course, not doing sprints or whatever.
Yeah.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law, or not a question, but a comment. Speaking of big, Des Watson was put on the non-football illness list because of his weight, but the Bucks still hoping to get him on the field in the preseason. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting deal.
He needs the shot. He should go on the shot like I did. It'll work.
Huh. I'm surprised. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You want to lose weight? It's up to you. It's really the way I look at it in this world with all the technology today. You want to lose weight? It's only up to you. That's it. I should go on TV and say that.
You should be one of those infomercials.
Yeah. If you want to lose weight, only one person can do it, and that's you. And it's truly your decision to either do that or not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, as I get older, though, here, as I just hit 60, I hear more people dying these days that I actually either know or have acquaintances with. I just learned of somebody yesterday who died that I played tennis with 2 weeks ago. It just breaks your heart. As you get older, you start thinking about your own mortality when you hear about these people dying, and it's alarming to tell you the truth, QB, because we're in the fourth quarter, bro. I don't know if you
I know we are. 2-minute drive.
Well, I hope it's not the 2-minute drive. Dear Lord, I hope we have plenty of TV commercials left and so on and so forth here.
We did a lot of overtimes. We did that Ole Miss Arkansas 9 overtime game.
As the Campus USA Credit Union best client says, and so forth. Okay. I hope
This, that, and the other, and so forth. Hey,
that's right.
Tim has a question for you, JC, on Facebook Live broadcast.
Tim,
What is Trump's new pay-for-play payment plan? Is the NIL gone?
no, I don't think the NIL's gone.
No.
He's just trying to get these boosters from throwing $10 million at these kids to get in a bidding war, which is not what this is about. And I agree with that. I have no problem with that. Zero. And yes, people are allowed to get what the market pays them, but you cannot allow this to turn into
Just
something,
ridiculous.
yeah, without any structure to it. There has to be structure to this, or it's just going to unravel. I tell you, I've seen these stories before. It will unravel.
Joseph on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, QB, what's your take on Olivier Roux practicing with the football team? I think it's going to be short-lived. He only has like a 10 or 11-inch vertical jump. You're not going to block any field goals unless it's like a 55 to 60-yarder where the kicker has to try to drive the football. Don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Jason from Pensacola on the Titan MR text line says, JC's impersonation of Edgar was horrible.
Horrible. Well,
He got it backwards. Edgar is always cold, not hot, JC.
Oh, he was cold. Damn. You're right. He was, because
That's funny.
He's skinny. That's right. That's right. Well, right now, man, if your AC is busted, you better call Comfort Temp or somebody, because wow, it's Africa out here, dude. I tell you, it's Africa. Either it's Vietnam or it's Libya. That's what.
Let me give people a little advice. If you have to be outside for long periods of time now, which I do because I love to play golf. I don't give a damn how hot it is. It's still better than sitting inside.
I agree.
And I had to help many of our golfers in our group prepare. I tell them, and I probably shouldn't because it's hurting me when it gets.
You're trying to beat them. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I tend to drink like a gallon of water before you, like an hour before you leave the house to go to the golf course. Then obviously you drink a ton while you're playing, but then you have to have a cold towel while you're outside to put around your neck or your head or whatever. And it's helped these guys the last.
All I can tell folks is that hot is hot.
Trying to keep people alive, JC.
But July, yes, well, especially with your geriatric friends. And God bless them for playing. I give them more credit than most people who are much younger, frankly. But you know what, dude? In July, it gets really hot in Florida, especially inland Florida, and it's been this way for 60 years that I can remember.
All right, JC, last thing before we get to Edgar. Text on the Titan MR text line from Kevin. He says, can you ask JC what Sarah Rockwell's name is again? I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, dude, if you don't agree with it, you don't have to, but that's her name. That's all. And she forms policy.
That's the lady from the school board.
Yeah, Sarah Rockwell.
Oh, okay.
I guess he was annoyed that I kept saying her name 5, 6, 7 times, but let's just remember that name.
Maybe he knows her.
I don't care. I don't care if he's his brother. I don't care if he's her brother. All right. What she said was wrong, and she knows it. She repented, as you will, and it's horrible to think that that's what we got running policy and for children. Really?
Yeah.
But
all right, JC.
Hopefully,
Have a good
she won't
day.
be working. You
We got to
bet.
get to Edgar.
You
That's
got it.
JC, who joined us on the Titan tomorrow hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Quick timeout. Come back. We're joined by Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Meals Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers,
And go Gators.
All the way from the North Pole. It's me, Santa Claus. Oh, I'm here with my friend Steve Spurrier for an amazing Christmas in July offer.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off.
Coach, how do they get them?
You can go to spurriers.com and order a digital card or stop by my restaurant in Celebration Point and pick some up today.
Thanks for being my holiday helper in July, Coach. Hurry, this special Christmas in July offer is for this month only. Ho, ho, ho.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave Los Linderos tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
No, Los Linderos tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Linderos tequila,
1966 lager,
Los Linderos.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient. For sprains, strains, or minor fractures, UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings. Walk-ins are welcome. That is UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Back to the Titan tomorrow hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by Orlando Sentinel's Edgar Thompson. Injuries occur whenever and however, Edgar. What can you tell us?
He's more specific, please.
Well, we've had multiple. I mean, the whole tons of text on the Titan tomorrow text line. People want to know what's up with DJ. Obviously, somebody on here said, I guess on 24/7 Sports site, they said that he was reported to be wearing a boot. I mean, I don't think anybody knows until Billy comes out of Billy's mouth, but any idea what's going on?
Hearing similar rumors, but can't get it confirmed. I think that's where we're all at. We're all in limbo. We get Billy tomorrow. media day, 1:30. It would certainly be a setback, yet another setback for DJ. I hope it's minor or whatever it is, because obviously he's a linchpin to everything they're going to be doing this year and want to be doing. And the guy's got transcendent throwing talent, as we know, but he needs, reps. He needs seasoning.
He's got to practice. He needs to practice.
Yeah, he didn't practice in the spring, and now if he's limited again, you have durability concerns at this point. The first time I saw DJ Lagway at the Under Armour game, he hurt his foot, and then I guess this shoulder issue kind of dates already to the beginning of last season. He kind of mentioned Miami the other day at SEC Media Days, so I think he'd been dealing with some shoulder soreness even going back to then. I think that came up. I can't quite recall the context last season, something about it. And then he hurts his hamstring against Georgia. He reportedly had this offseason sports hernia surgery, but that dated maybe to high school. And that's fairly common. Look, Boogie Flanders had that. Nobody's up in arms about that. Those happen.
That's the least of the concerns.
Yeah. And then he doesn't throw during the spring. And you're hearing these things that surgery could be on the table, etc. And then he's back to throwing in late April, 3 times a week, and he's kind of sustained that level of workload. But now he's about to practice 8 times in the next 10 days, Shane, starting Wednesday. 8 out of 10 days before a scrimmage on August 9th. So that's a lot of work compared to throwing 3 days a week and 210 passes if he's able to, start practicing Wednesday, which is a big if at this point based on all the, rumors percolating.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. So give us kind of a timeline here. Don't they report today? No practice today?
Tomorrow.
Oh, they report tomorrow. Okay, I don't know.
Tomorrow, media day, report, media day. I think we're getting like Austin Barber and Tyreek Sapp and Trey Smack. So it's not like the old traditional media days now. It's like they bring guys to the podium and they do ASAP Sports. If we're familiar with, they transcribe. So we don't argue with that aspect of it. But I used to like when they would just bring everyone and just put them in the room, spread them around. And I remember one year, years ago, they would do offense and defense, and they would do it over the touchdown terrace. And I walked up to Steve McLean at one point and go, "Where's defense? Where are they coming in today?" And there's 5 minutes to go. He's like, "They're on the other side." I totally missed the defense, right? This was a while back, but because I was just in there talking to all these offensive players. You could get anyone you wanted. You always felt a little bad, like the 3rd string or 4th string tight end or the walk-ons weren't really getting much, conversation. But I like that because then you could kind of maybe get a little unique stuff and start working on a story or two ahead on a guy. Now it's like everyone gets what everyone gets. I mean, whatever. And, first world problems, right? And then we get the coordinators tomorrow. I think we get Russ Callaway and Ron Roberts, which is interesting because Ron Roberts apparently, at least according to the website, is one of 3 coordinators, right? And Russ, is offensive coordinator. Billy's calling the plays. So those are unique situations in themselves. And then we're getting Tyler Miles, the strength coach. I was just reading Zach Alberverdi reporting a bunch of numbers from the weight room, some pretty impressive numbers for a lot of these guys, a lot of increases in strength and things like that, explosiveness. So yeah, we'll get that on tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, practices start. But here's the thing. We're not going to be able to view but 5 periods or 5 days of practice this year. And last year, I think it was 11 or 12. So I'm not sure what that's all about. And we're not even going to be out there for the first practice, which has never happened. This is my 19th season. I've been at the first practice 18 times. So actually not quite accurate. I came in for Zook and Boom in 2002 and 12 into the season. So I've been to for the 16 years I've been here for the first practice. We've been at the first practice.
Do they even have 2-a-days anymore, Edgar?
No. They gave those up a while
I
ago.
thought so.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're trying to lessen load management. They're trying to lessen, you know, hit head, contact, concussion potential, just safety. It's all about safety, which I'm all for, and sustainability. These players are put through the meat grinder through a season and all that. I'm all for it, but I tell you, man, I remember 2008 when I was covering the Dolphins, Shane, they had 32 practices. I was at 31 of them during training camp. That was a grind. This is like 5 practices, and you're only going to be in there for like, 12 minutes. So it's a real change on how things have kind of unfolded in today's media world.
It's crazy how football has changed, because my first 2 years when Galen Hall's the coach, we had 3-a-days. I mean, think about it, 3 practices in a day.
Don Shula was known for 3-a-days.
Yeah, then they kind of got rid of that, but we always had 2-a-days for like a week. And you cannot possibly have a 2-a-day now, or all hell will break loose. And it's crazy. Alan,
I asked Rob Sale about it, and I'm actually going to kind of look, but say what you were going to say. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you what he said about it.
but no, tell me that. I'm gonna go back to it's just a question for you. What did Rob say?
Oh, he was like, he recalls 2-a-days under Nick Saban at LSU, right?
Yeah.
Twice for 12 straight days during fall camp.
Yeah.
That's
That's how football used to be. Nowadays, it's I don't want to say it. It's never easy. Football's a hard sport, but it's much easier nowadays.
But much easier than
And they got indoor facilities too. We had no indoor facility. You talk about media day. When I was here, media day was in the swamp. They set up tables going from the south end zone all the way around the visiting sideline to the north end zone, coming down the home side, and quarterbacks were in a section, receivers in a section, and it's freaking 100 degrees out there. We had nowhere to go to do indoor interviews. So
I was driving home from the golf course yesterday, and my temperature in my car said 100. So I would not want to go do media day outside. I'll take 3 guys at the podium, and they transcribe it for me.
Alan
I'm not being lazy, but I wouldn't want to do that.
Alan on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, so this begs the question, Edgar, who is the first QB backup, and has he had any reps? I would say it's Harrison Bailey, and he played a lot in the spring. He can throw it now. He's a good thrower.
Yeah, I think he's a actually decent option.
Yeah.
Look, if this offensive line, first off, meets expectations, which is ranked number 4 in the nation, okay, by Pro Football Focus, the grades, did you see this? Jake Slaughter, they are naming the best offensive player, not just offensive lineman, offensive player in the SEC. Now, I find that hard to believe when you got Ryan Williams, you got Lenoris Sellers, you got DJ Lagway. I mean, and the list goes on. I love Jake, and he's a great player, but they say he's the best offensive player. Okay. They got Barber's first team All-SEC also. Najee Harris started 13 games. Damian George has 25 starts and seems to have found a home at guard. Bryce Lovett can play all 5 positions and is going to hold down the right tackle spot, you think. If that offensive line lives up to potential, you got Jaden Bond, Jacoby Jackson, that in my opinion are an elite 1-2 punch. I like them. I think you do too. And you love Katie Daniels, right? And I thought Trayon Webb shows some flashes, and he can catch and block and run. And he's been kind of like in the shadows, and he was hurt last year, most of the year. You could still run a pretty good offense, especially, and you got playmakers in the perimeter. You got talent at tight end. Harrison Bailey could manage this offense probably and still be pretty successful.
I agree, because we had somebody ask JC earlier in the program about the odds of DJ with the Heisman Trophy or whatever. I don't know if he's going to have the stats, even if he's healthy, Edgar, and plays every game. Statistically, usually that goes to a guy who's on a good team that has really good stats, right? For the most part. I don't know if he's going to have enough pass attempts unless we're behind. I think if we're winning games, it's because we're running the football. And he could be like a 16 to 22 attempt game. I don't know why I think that, but I think if you ask Billy Napier and their entire staff, their recipe to winning a bunch of football games this year, it's leaning on the offensive line and their running backs.
I think that's Billy's formula no matter what, though, isn't it?
True. True.
I mean, it's like, I didn't go back and dig into this, but I'm going to now that you said it. And looking at like total, like passing offense of Billy's, let's say his 2020 team that was pretty good. I mean, Louisiana Lafayette threw 310 times that year, and they were 8th in the league passing. So that's like the leader was 463 and 450, blah, blah, blah. I guess, like 2019, I think was his best offense, and they did throw 413 that year, but 27 and 4, 8 per attempt. So that's pretty good passing, but I guess, but it's still not like crazy. Joe Burrow had a pretty good running game, don't forget, right?
Yeah.
And he still threw for 60 touchdowns because he had Jefferson and Jamar Chase. But, does he have that in Eugene Wilson and Dallas Wilson and Vernell Brown III? Maybe not quite yet or ever, maybe. I mean, I don't know. That pretty elite group potentially, and Sturdivant could be very good too. So he could throw it around, but I still don't know that, like you said, he's going to be putting up, video game numbers. And that isn't how Billy wants to play anyway, I don't think.
Text on the Titan More text line from William. He says, Edgar, in your opinion, do you think DJ Lagway will be held out of the Long Island game?
Oh, my God. I mean, that's a month away. No, I like the question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like dispelling it. It's a fair question. I don't know why they're even playing that game. I don't know anyone involved in that game who wants that game. And why does anyone want to play? Look, I get it. It's your preseason game. It is like so anticlimactic to start what could be a pretty interesting season. But in fairness, they do play back-to-back at LSU, at Miami. Then they host Texas at A&M. And then in November's got some brutal games. So you need some easy ones somewhere, but I'm not very excited about Long Island to open the 20.
I'm not either, but I wish that game was at like 10 a.m. so we could all get home and watch the other games. Here's the thing. I think it's crucial, even though it's Long Island, for DJ to get live reps in a real football game because it's been a long time, right? It's been since the Tulane game, which was early December, if I remember correctly.
December like 20.
Nothing in the spring, and you can't just be thrown against. South Florida's a decent little team.
Coach is good.
I think he's got to be ready to go then, and hopefully
for sure. And it starts picking up. I mean, USF's a legit game, and then you're at LSU, man. You're opening the SEC at night in Tiger Stadium. I don't think it doesn't get any harder.
Nope, not at all. Jimmy says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, I don't see anything on 24/7 about DJ Lagway in a boot.
No, there's some message board chatter that they've been hearing. That's the thing with message boards to the listeners versus like, I don't really have that forum, and I'm not going on Twitter and speculating, and I'm not really even using Twitter a whole lot right now. It's a different kind of deal. Those message boards are for kind of a little bit of just, hey, I'm kind of hearing this and that, and not besmirching them. I mean, there's a big audience for that. It's just a little bit of a different approach, and I'm not really allowed to do that, right? I mean, even on here, say more here than maybe I can in print. I don't know what's going on. I have no information other than third and fourth, fifth party stuff, man.
Yeah.
Which is unreportable. And let's just hope it's a minor thing, whatever it is. There's a lot of smoke. There's obviously something going on with DJ. And let's just hope it's very minor and he'll be scrimmaging on Saturday and moving forward. Because the kid's impressive to deal with, and he's a super talent, and he's entertaining. I mean, I love watching him play football.
Very true. Kay Brown on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, Zach from 24/7 Sports reported that Warner is ahead of Bailey at this point for backup. I don't know if he is or not. I just know I love the way the kid throws the football. and he was a highly, highly recruited kid coming out of high school. He's been in, this is 6 years, so he's been around. He's played at what, Tennessee, Louisville,
UNLV.
Houston, I think. Where else?
UNLV.
UNLV. So
those are the three schools. I mean, he's never really like gotten great traction at any of his stops.
right.
But he did look pretty good during the spring game, I thought. He and Dallas Wilson.
I like him a lot. I like
Yeah,
him
and
a
Aiden
lot.
Warner started out like gangbusters in that game, remember? He looked
Yeah.
really good. Go look at his final stats. I mean, his completion percentage was pretty subpar. He looks better, but he's a three-star kid who went to Yale. Harrison Bailey's a kid who was fairly highly
He
recruited.
was like a top, he was like one of those Elite 11 guys.
That's what I'm saying. And he
yeah.
went to some like real schools,
Yeah.
real football schools. Excuse me. I mean,
think
Yale's a better school than any of them, but I'm saying
Right.
real football schools.
I'll just say, and like I said, I'm not in the meeting rooms. I'm not at every practice. I've just seen him throw in the spring, and I saw him in the spring game, take for whatever it's worth. I think he will be just fine if he has to play quarterback for us. It's going to be a different type of offense, but like I would take him over Aiden Warner is what I'm saying.
Aiden Warner doesn't have any experience. This young man does. Harrison Bailey has a lot of experience. Aiden Warner is still young and developing. I'm not saying he can't become an option at some point if needed, but I think Harrison Bailey's got a lot more experience. And as you said, throws the ball well. I thought he looked good during the spring game. He threw for like 360 yards. Not saying that that's any real indicator of anything, but it shows something. And he and Dallas Wilson, they were the ones hooking up a lot, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, and Wilson had a monster game. So yeah, I'm interested to see what he does. Does he emerge from this summer as the alpha in that receiving room? And I mean, he sure looked like it in that game. And there's a lot of interesting storylines in this camp.
Dallas Wilson, I'll say this again. I've said it multiple times in this program. He looks like a guy, or he looks like a receiver that would be in an Ohio State uniform, right?
He's a monster. He's 6'3", 209. I
Yeah.
mean, it's incredible. I'll tell you, I mean, I'm interested to see what Kermani McLean can do. They need a third cornerback. They might need a second. I mean, Devin Moore has played 19 of 39 games. I think the kid's got all SEC potential and tools. Devin Moore could be great. He just can't stay healthy. So, I mean, there's some intrigue. There are plenty of intriguing storylines this camp beyond DJ Lagway's health, though that is obviously the number one story of camp.
Yeah. All right. Last thing before we get out of here, we had a text on the Titan number text line from Tony. He wants to know, Edgar, are there any stories that you're looking forward to writing during training camp?
Well, we got to see who they give us. I would like to do a story on Jake Slaughter, actually, and just kind of his rise and emergence. He's local for this area. Nothing that I've pinpointed. I mean, I always like to kind of dig in on a coach.
Did Edgar freeze up on me? I guess he did. So anyway, that's funny. Edgar just froze up. That's going to do it for today's program. We appreciate everybody chiming in, and we'll be here tomorrow. So, wait, what is this right here? Anyway, all right. So that's going to do it. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened to Edgar's internet, but appreciate you chiming in with all your questions, comments, and texts. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.